guys, welcome back to Full Circus. My name is Tristan Sartoris. Hopefully it's not still going. It's like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. How many seconds was that? Enough time to say, hey guys, we're back, we're here, we're having fun. It is November 1st. How are you guys doing? It's so weird to jump into the show without hearing the music for some reason. It's like, it's just a small song, and granted, it's a banger, okay? But it's you know, it's the breaking of the champagne before the boat sails away, you know, like that's how it, whoa, we're gone. Otherwise, you just stand on a boat, okay? And that's how I feel. I feel like I'm just sitting on the boat and we're not sailing yet because I didn't hear the breaking, the celebratory popping of the champagne. Do they pop it before they break it? I've never had a boat. I don't know. And can you break it for any boat? These are the questions that I need answered, but you know what? Regardless, we're here to have fun. We're here to stay. Oh, Ozempic. Dude, that commercial has been playing non-stop. And I get it. You know, it's a perfect time to do that. It's November 1st. It's right after Halloween. All the candy, all the gluttony, all the sugars, the carbs, and everything in between that causes diabetes has been consumed. So why not push forward a new little, you know, skinny drug to help people out? You know, oh, you guys having trouble? Oh, dear, you're fat. Here we go. I wouldn't mind a little bit of Ozempic. I don't know. Here's the thing. It's not that Ozempic is bad, and I don't really know much about it before I even dive into a speech about it. I don't know much about it, but from what I gather is that it just kind of cuts out cravings. You know, you don't just lose weight. It just helps you, you know, you willpower, discipline and whatnot. You know, some people have the nicotine patches and other patches, I assume, for other addictions and stuff like that. So it helps, you know. I'm a gluttonous monster, dude. I like to eat food. Is that such a crime? Okay. And I wouldn't mind to be on it. The only issue is the first time I heard the word Ozempic, it was connected to a news article about somebody who had chronic diarrhea lifelong. And she's like, well, I didn't have it, but they said Ozempic caused it. Don't even know if that's true. Again, I haven't done more research about what Ozempic does and how it can happen and what kind of side effects there may be. But immediately I was like, well, every time I think of Ozempic, I hear diarrhea forever. You want to have diarrhea forever? I would rather take my chances. I'm going to learn to be self-disciplined in whatever I have to not have diarrhea. Do the nicotine patches, do any other sort of rehabbing techniques cause forever diarrhea? It's got to be one of the worst. I would rather be fat forever than diarrhea forever. So if anybody is on Ozempic right now and you're struggling with diarrhea, let me know if that's a forever problem or if that's just, you know, a product of the times. But I'm so scared. It's the first time I ever heard. It's like, hey, Ozempic. I was like, oh, what's that? Ozempic causes chronic diarrhea lifelong. I go, oh, that sucks. I don't know what that is. But why would they take it? Found out it's good for you know, getting off the Halloween candy. But diarrhea. So I've been struggling with that, man. I mean, but like, I don't need Ozempic, but if I did, you know, I don't know if I could cross the bridge. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I mean. So, hey, if you're out there, let's see. Hopefully it goes well. You know, I'm praying for the best. I think in an ideal world, you know, we would have the right kind of discipline and willpower to get through most things. But sometimes, you know, and people crap on those who take Ozempic. Like, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? But it's an addiction like anything else, man. We are a fat people, and not just a country. I mean, just as people, the species of people. We're fat people. So, hey, if it helps, it helps. Ideally, you could get through it without risking diarrhea. You know, in a perfect world, you could try out some new medication and not have diarrhea, dude. All right, so we've said diarrhea 13 times, and we just started the show. How are you guys doing? What's going on in your world, in your life? It is November 1st. Nozempic. It's November 1st. Coincidentally, the candy holiday of the year. You think Halloween's great for it? November 1st, Halloween candy prices are slashed by like 80%. So I hope as you're listening to this, you're at a Walmart or a Target or CVS or every little places that sells, you know, little bite-sized buckets of fun. And getting them on deal, dude. Because here's the deal. Those are the deals. But the deal is, we can always lose weight, but you can't always get a good price on candy. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know I just mentioned all this good stuff about, stay in shape, don't get diarrhea and whatever. But look, you can always lose weight. You cannot always get candy 80% off. So take advantage of it while you can. Somebody's calling me. Get rejected, son. It was my car insurance. I know I reached out to them and then they responded, hey, I'm busy. Okay. I'm busy. It would be funny to just answer a call because it's plugged right in. They just hear me like, hey, Tristan, we're here talking about your car insurance. I go, so diarrhea, man. Hello. And I would be interested to see how long they stay on the phone for something like that. But anyways, hope you guys are out there getting your candy and enjoying November 1st in all its holiday beauty that it provides, man. Happy birthday to all who celebrate. I know someone who has a birthday on November 1st. I'm sure there's plenty of people. I run into this issue, man, is friends, family, people, whoever, and you sometimes want to mention them on the show, and it's just a small little show. It's a small, tight-knit group. However, I know some people don't like to have their name or their business or their memories or whatever, just cast it out, whatever. Now, it's a hard hurdle for me to jump over. It was a new thing for me to learn because I'm so desperate and needy for attention that I was like, wait, what? You wouldn't want, if I just threw everything out there? Like, I enjoy, keeping that just for me. I go, well, fascinating. What an interesting concept to not have to shove yourself in every little thing that you have in front of people. Because like I said, man, for the podcast started was because I have so many things to say and not enough people that will listen. Okay, so I decided, what if I just recorded and listened to it to myself? I'm my own best friend. Isn't that sad? No, I have people that will listen for a time, man. But will they really let me talk about diarrhea as long as I want? We don't know. However, it's a cruel cycle because, you just want to talk and make silly nonsense. You're like, yeah, no one really wants to listen. I'm going to make this. It's come to find out that all my friends and family do listen. I'm like, well, why was I so desperate to do this in the first place? And like, we don't know. We actually did provide for you all the attention you ever needed. You just thought you didn't have it. How twisted is that? So is it unfortunate? I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun regardless. You know what? It would have been unfortunate if we didn't stumble across other people across the globe who are like, hey, I also like to listen to stories of diarrhea. And to those people, we say, welcome aboard. We're glad to have done 191 episodes and still not know what we're doing. It's not a show, dude. You always go, yeah, I do this thing. And they go, you have a podcast, you have this, you have a show. I always I try to downplay it. I'm like, it's really more of like, there's no way to describe it. It's not well produced. It's not top of the line production. It's just chaos, dude. And it says Circus right there. And I have to keep pointing that out because it's relevant every single time I bring it up. And, you just never know. So it happened recently. Somebody had mentioned, you're like, hey, he's got this podcast called Full Circus. He's like, you got a podcast? Like, it's more like a YouTube thing. He's like, oh, like a YouTube show. I go, well, I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to say some things. I'm going to talk in a microphone for about half an hour. Some people will listen. Some people will tune out. And that's just fine. And they said, well, check it out. And I said, oh, dear. But that's fun for me, dude. That's fun. I was on a Zoom call recently. Same thing happened, and I do like my work at the desk, and they see the skateboard, and they go, what's that? And I do this whole freaking shtick and ordeal, and they go, we're going to go check it out. I go, oh, wow. I hope I don't start the show off talking about diarrhea for the first 8 minutes. But, hey, c'est la vie. That's life. Live it up, love it up. So, guys, there's not a lot going on in the world, man. So much of it is just election season, really, and it's just all over the place. And here's what really chaps my onions, okay, is that people go, don't celebrate Christmas, you can't do this and put up decorations, it's too early. Yet people have been putting these signs up for months on end, and that's all they want to talk about. Well, hey, I want to talk about Santa Claus, okay? I want to talk about Jack Frost, and I want to talk about the snow coming. I want to see Fraser first and go, look at that, all right? I don't really care who Tim Waltz is or I don't know. I don't even know any more people, dude. I don't care. It doesn't matter. There should be a Grinch, okay? I don't really endorse the Grinch, but if I was going to endorse the Grinch, I would endorse a Grinch for politics. okay, for all the who's of who didn't care about election time, okay? It's everything. It's everyone, all right? I'd rather talk about diarrhea, quite frankly, but it's more frustrating because you look through the news and you want to try and find stuff, and even the For You and stuff that's tailored to me. He's like, can you believe this and the rally and the McDonald's and the garbage and the people and this and that? I was like, it's going to happen regardless. And here's the biggest pain, man, is like, yeah, maybe I would love to educate people on what the right decisions are, on how to go about your political ventures, but I'm 0-8 in fantasy football, okay? I don't know if I'm even allowed to vote at that point. I think you should have to go up to the polls and they say, hey, what's your fantasy record? I go, 0-8? How is that even possible? You can't do that if you tried. I've never been 0-8 before. I don't know how I'm here. But needless to say, my judgment, okay, is not all the way there. I'm not quite in the right headspace to be like, these are the right decisions that need to be made to have a profitable and a country built for prosperity. I can't even manage a fantasy football team. You think I know who should be running Earth? So I don't know if they'll even let me vote. Okay, if we're to believe they have all my information as possible, and we go, they know all the data and all the things that they need to know, I feel like they might pull my file and just, is that the O&A guy discarded? It's impossible. It's tragic. I won't lie to you, man. I think about it every morning when I wake up. I say, this week, you're going to make it happen. You're going to get a win. And then another guy, not only are people getting out, they're getting onto IR, they're getting injured, but they're getting suspended, dude. I had just a few gems in the rough. That I was like, okay, maybe we can squeak something out here. And then they're breaking the law, dude. Imagine this, I'm down to my last resource. Imagine, you're trying to, I don't know, go to a mother-son dance or something like that, and you have different choices. You're like, yeah, I like to have my oldest and then the youngest, and then I was like, I guess the middle child, but they keep getting hurt. They keep spraining ankles, and then finally you're down to your last son, and you say, all right, well, you weren't my first choice, but here we go. We really got to win this competition. And then he breaks the law, and now what? You're going to the mother-son dance alone, and are you going to win? Absolutely not. And they're not going to let you vote, for sure, because you couldn't even put together a child to help you out on the dance floor. Does the analogy fall apart a little bit? Maybe. But the point is, I'm upset, and I don't care about Election Day until I get a win, all right? Now, when I get a win in fantasy, sure, we'll talk about who can do this, and tax rates, and gun control, and amendments, and what have you, okay? But until then, quite frankly, I don't care. All right. So anyways, Christmas is here. All right. I think that was the roundabout way that I was trying to get there and be like, hey, you guys are putting up signs. You're celebrating Election Day like it's the greatest and the grandest of all holidays. For basically 4 years, people look forward to this and be like, this and that and that. I'm going to give Christmas 6 weeks. Okay. It's November 1st. I'm locking in right now. I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm going all in. All right. Have I been looking at Christmas trees? You better believe it. Have I bought any Christmas ornaments? No, not exactly, but I've looked at all of them, and that's half the battle. All right, I've been window shopping, and I'm gonna buy a 12-foot Christmas tree. Okay, I have the space, I have the room, because I dug a hole in the ceiling. Can you dig a hole upwards? Is it called cutting a hole in the ceiling? But if I use a shovel, is it still called? Can you dig up? Can I say, oh, I dug a hole in the ceiling? Anyways, phrasing aside, I have room for a 12-foot Christmas tree, and I think I'm gonna do it. Okay, and I'm just excited about Christmas. I'm holly, I'm jolly. I gave all my time through September to October with lots of Halloween, and I'm staying a festive little freak, okay? I'm all about it. So, yeah, I think it's just because I need it. I need joy in my life because I'm 0-8. There's nothing more you can say about it, okay? It's just the truth. It's the fact. You just got to wake up and realize this is where you are. This is who you are. This is the life you created. It's not necessarily the bed that I made, but it's the bed that I was given. And now I got to lie in it. And I wish I could lie about it, but it is the truth. Speaking of in my bed, dude, I had a bad dream last night that I was in front of this whole class. I went to school pantless, dude. I've never had these stereotypical dreams. I had a dream I went to school and I had no pants. I had it. I had the dream, man. And I was at school and I had no pants and I was freaking out. I had anxiety and I had to do this whole show and tell thing. And yeah, I brought the project and yeah, the project ruled. And it was like a little tiny, like mechanical dog that ran on a treadmill. And yeah, it was inventive, okay? It was intricate by design, but I had no pants. So did I get an A? Of course. But they laughed me out of that class. And here's the sickest part, man. I'm 25, okay? I have no reason to wait. I woke up in a fright. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I actually didn't go to school without pants. I'm 25! I'm not going to school. And I was homeschooled. So the logic for my brain to come up with this fear has no grounds, okay? There's no reason for my brain to be like, even if I wasn't 25, I still wouldn't be in school. Even if I wasn't in school, I still wouldn't be of age to be there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to say that sometimes we worry about things that are just out of our control and some things that may never happen. And I don't know. So I woke up and I was very relieved that I was not living such a nightmare. I did remember that I was 0-8 in fantasy football. Okay, that's the last time I'm going to say it. I just want to drive home how present that is on my mind. It's keeping me up at night, and then when I do sleep, I have a dream that I'm freaking embarrassing myself. And then I wake up to realize I'm embarrassing myself. So anyways, guys, that's all just a roundabout way of saying, look how cool this thing is. I used the stock backdrop for my Mac, and it kind of looks good. I mean, look at those rolling fields, dude. Those are crops back there. Crops, and there's fog and more crops and clouds. I guess you can kind of see this whole thing. That's a bit ugly. Hey, I didn't see it. I didn't notice. And like I always say, dude, regardless to fantasy football or politics or any sort of life-changing decision, you don't know what you don't know until you know it, Okay? And I didn't know that was going to be there. So now I know. And, next time we'll both know it and then we won't have to see it. So that's really all that's going on in the news. I did see that they had a Timothy Chalamet. I think that's how you say his name, the kid from Dune. They had a Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest. Isn't that crazy? There was a celebrity lookalike contest. And what's fascinating to me about this is not necessarily that it was held or that there was an obsession with somebody like to enough where like, hey, we got to throw a party. But that there were enough people that entered. Like there was enough people that looked like somebody. And granted, it's a celebrity and that's how we know, but you just got to wonder if it was you and you were big enough that people wanted to throw a freaking Fitzgerald. It's not really a first name. Hey, Fitzgerald, how you doing? If that was true, are there enough people that look like you? Do you think you look unique enough that if we threw a contest, there wouldn't be anyone that looks like you? Because when this whole freaking contest, tons of them. Okay, there was like 4 people on this podium and they're holding up $50,000 or something. It was like $50. I'm exaggerating, but I couldn't even tell which one was him. There's enough people, and maybe if there's people that are bigger fans might know because I just called him the Dune Kid. But, jeez, I don't know. You have to wonder. Like, do you think you look unique enough that there's not a ton of people out there that could impersonate you? I think that's kind of scary. If that was me. And one, I found out they were doing a contest to see who looks the most like me. I'd be thrilled. And so was he. He showed up to the contest. I don't know if he was in disguise necessarily, or just because everyone looked the same. They're like, oh, we assume you're another one of us. You could build an army, but I don't know what I would think. I think I'd be afraid of them taking my identity. I don't know. I don't know what kind of powers you could be, but if you found out that you had a bunch of people that looked like you, there's got to be some sort of positive. I'm trying to figure out what that would be, but it was actually just more freaky. And I was like, dang, I'm supposed to be, ow, dude, what's in my eye? I'm supposed to be special and uniquely made. So if you don't look unique enough, you better make sure you act unique enough. Okay. And that includes putting on a podcast and talking about diarrhea and your failures as a fantasy football drafter. And I like to complain about sports a lot, and it's it's hard to do that. Not only is it like, oh, you're a couch fan, you're chirping at me from the couch. How dare you? And you're like, well, at least I have, this team that I know something. I don't, and I have no bragging rights. I live to make fun of people. Okay. And that sounds bad. And I know a lot of people come out there like, no, it's just my love language, and it's just kind of like how I care. That's not it, okay? It's not that at all. I just like to make fun of people. Now, there's no malicious intent. That's how I grew up with a family of boys. There's just lots of razzing. Like, that's how you talk, and I like to make fun of people. It's fun, and I like to be made fun of, okay? It's a good time for me. However, it sucks when you have no ground to stand on. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the only reason I would like to succeed in life at all, is just so I can poke fun at other people, and then that's it. What's the main goal of life is to be able to make fun of others. It's the only reason I've been trying to get good at golf, is because my brothers are good at golf and I want to heckle them. I want to make fun of them for their swing, where their ball goes, where they lose it, where they do this and that, and it's hard to do when you suck at it. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't do good at golf also this last weekend, and they got to take care of these leaves, dude. All right. Now, granted, it's a little bit my fault that I completely shanked it to a other hole. It's nowhere near where it should be. So people are like, hey, did you lose a Callaway? And they're like miles away, and they're like, yeah, the green's over there. And I go, I know. But anyways, I don't know what I was saying, something about making fun of people. That's what life's all about. That's what I want to do. And I'm trying to get good at life so I can do that and that alone. So yeah, anyways, Timothée Chalamet contest. That was really the only thing I saw in the news. It did have I don't know how many people were there, but New York shut it down, I think 3 times from what I saw. They had to keep moving locations. They're like, we got so many Timothée Chalamet, we got to get through them all. We got plan B, we got to meet the rendezvous. And they kept, again, though, you have so many Timothée Chalamets, like, you could do some damage. And what happens to the guy who wins? Surely he wins some money, but there's got to be some sort of feeling, like maybe you could commit some crimes. Maybe you could, take down Timothée Chalamet's good name with a power like that. Or would you be depressed? Would you be sad if your biggest claim to fame was looking like someone else who had a claim to fame? Like, if you're like, this is the greatest thing I've done. What did you do this weekend? I looked like somebody else who's more important. I feel like that would be a little bit of a dagger, because I get called Andrew Garfield all the time, and they don't say you're worse than him, but still, I'm like, dang it, man. I think my goal in life is just to be something enough, not necessarily in entertainment or whatever, but that someone goes to Andrew Garfield, hey, you look like that guy who plays ping pong. You look like that really good shuffleboard player. Like anything, I just need to I need to be at the top of something, just so Andrew Garfield gets that, okay? And that's just the competitive nature, and that's really just so I can make fun of him, even though he's great. But anyways, yeah, I feel like it'd be pretty tough for New York. The guy, hey, dude, you look like this one guy. Thanks, man. Anything else? No, that's it. Well, here's $50. So anyways, they kept shutting it down. New York is they're pretty strict about that, I guess. They're not strict about a lot of things. I just saw that they removed jaywalking. Jaywalking is finally legal in New York City. Can you believe that? I didn't know it was illegal, actually. Like, you hear the term jaywalking, but you never see anybody's like, yeah, dude, just got busted, $250, okay, because I crossed the street on a green light. I tried looking it up because I couldn't believe it, and there was nobody had a recollection of ever seeing people that have lived in New York City. They're like, I've never seen anyone get a ticket. I've never seen anyone get busted or called out for it in any way, The only time I've even heard someone mention jaywalking is in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and the cop runs across, he's like, jaywalker, and he stops him. But there's I don't know, who gets busted for jaywalking? There was one article about a guy in 2011. He got busted, and they gave a ticket out. And he went, what the heck is this? And then New York said sorry, and they took the ticket back. And like, sorry, he was a rookie mistake. He was a rookie cop. He didn't know what he was doing. And they got rid of it. So why? It's been a law since 1950. And no one's been, it's just the law for no reason. New York doesn't really play by the rules. However, if you want to put a Timothée Chalamet contest, that is a no-go. But yeah, I'm proud, I guess, of New York. There you go. At least you don't have to worry for anybody who is living in fear every time. They look both ways, but not for cars, but for the police. Like, I hope nobody saw that. I love jaywalking. Jaywalking's fun. However, it's kind of, I'm not a big committer of crime, jaywalking is kind of my one little thing, and I don't know if it's legal in Ohio or not, but it is the one thing I still have going for me, where I feel just like I have a little bit of an edge. You know when you're a goody two-shoes and the best thing you do in life, or not the best thing, but the worst thing you do in life is jaywalk, and you go, I've still got it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I go to church every Sunday, but sometimes when nobody's looking, I cross the street. Do they give me the hand? You better believe it, and I still walk. But yeah, I feel like you took away my edge. Okay, it's hard to be a bad boy when you legalize jaywalking. Yeah, but New York doesn't care. They park in the street. Isn't that the whole thing? Is that you just park in the road, and they have a whole bike lane and parking lane and all that. People just park. They had that whole program where you could make like a decent fortune by going around and taking license plates of cars that are parked in the street. And it was pretty wild. I think it's still going on. It was like 2 years ago or something, but pretty, I don't know. That'd be a tough gig to have. I feel like you'd be at risk of assault in New York. Somebody walks out and they see you busting you, because as soon as they take the photo, they're tattling, Back in my day, it used to be, snitches get stitches, all right? But it seems in New York, snitches get riches. But I feel like you'd be in supreme danger in a place like that. You take a photo of the wrong guy's car as evidence, like, hey, dude, enjoy the fine. And then what? You ride away on your bicycle? Dude, you're getting clobbered. So I don't know. I don't know if that program's still going out or if people are too scared to do it. It'd be pretty dicey. I wouldn't play with it. So, guys, I have no idea how long we've been going. Oh my gosh. Oh wait, no, there is a clock. I can't see how long we've been going. Just about 25 minutes. That's been here the whole time. So we don't really have much to say, but I do want to talk about the Indianapolis trip kind of really quick. It doesn't really matter, but I mentioned it on the last episode, so I technically owe that to you. Even though I spent most of our time talking about diarrhea and fantasy football. Yeah, I mentioned on the Halloween episode last week that I had these like hallucinations as I'm driving. I'd been up for 40 hours. This was not by design, right? So I was having a wonderful night. And during this night, around 11 p.m. or so, I get an email for an audition and something that I was doing before that, hey, you booked it. And I say, okay, great. Just let me know when I got to do it. And they go, but can you, 7 a.m.? I go, freaking 7 a.m. That means I need to leave, because it's 5 hours away, at 2 a.m. Now, I, again, was having a great night. I forgot all about this thing, and 1:30 a.m. rolls around. And when you're so tired and you're just so ready to go to bed, you're like, I can't wait to just relax. And you want to walk back home, and then you realize your house is a mess, and maybe you're not a slob and you just can't go to sleep unless your house is clean. So you start cleaning, you start taking care of all these chores. I'm not like this, but I know some people are. But and you start doing all these things that prevent you from going to sleep. This is how I felt, but with real responsibility, where people were counting on me to be somewhere in 5 hours, and I went, holy crap, I'm exhausted. I had been up for 20 hours at this point. And I had to drive 5 hours through the nighttime to Indianapolis on a whim. So it was pretty unfortunate. It was pretty dark, of course. It was in the middle of the night. But it was the hallucinations that were really scary. I said it twice and I didn't get it right. Hallucinations. Dude, and I tried all these tricks. I'm sitting there, again, breaking the law. I was Googling while I was driving, allegedly. I don't actually know if I was doing this. I don't know. Are there any police that watch? So I hate jaywalking too. Okay, I said I was a bad boy. I didn't mean it. I would never. I wait for the walk sign, and that's my best friend. Hand sign, stay in play. But anyways, somebody might have been Googling while driving the best ways to try and stay awake while driving. So I'm playing the music and I'm rolling down the window. You're getting fan, and it starts a little bit cold, but I'm handling it, and I'm still getting tired. And I think the problem is that I sleep with a fan on and while playing music or noise. So really, I was simulating my perfect nap time. Music, I was like, oh, this is great now. And in the wind, it's like I felt so relaxed, just swerving off. So what I had to do was I stopped at a gas station and I loaded up, okay, on energy drinks and hot Cheetos, okay, extra flaming hot. I was trying to put myself in a painful state of mind, and I thought either the energy drink's going to work or I'm going to have to use the bathroom. And it's hard to fall asleep while you have to pee, although big gamble, because if I do, but yeah, that, I don't know, that was not on the forum that I saw where people were trying to comment the best ways to stay awake. But dude, try hot Cheetos. My mouth was burning. Now, I was supposed to show up to set, be well put together and well groomed. Hot Cheeto dust all around my face. Fingers are bright red. I'm like, hey, am I here on time? Like just a foul gremlin who just showed up out of the woods. And even worse than that is I got there a little bit early because, again, if there's any police listening, allegedly I was speeding, but I wasn't. So I get there a little bit early, and I have 15 minutes. I get there at 6:45, and I lay down in my car. And I plug my phone in, my alarm to like the speaker, you know, like where you can play your music and whatever. And I was like, I'm just gonna take a quick nap, and I crank it all the way up. Okay. Now I don't know if you've ever put your car to max volume. Okay, it's not good for the ears. But I was like, I don't want to risk sleeping in this parking lot right in front of the place I'm supposed to be. I came all this way, so I crank it up. I doze off for about 3 minutes. Car sounding the alarms. Okay, so if it wasn't bad enough that I look just like an idiot, okay, tired, breathing's been snagging all morning. Now my car alarm's going off. I'm like stumbling out of it. There's cans falling out of the truck, and it was not a pretty sight. So then I run up to the thing like, I'm here for the filming thing, and I had been up for 25 hours at this point, which means I was technically legally drunk or whatever. So I'm like, is it time? They're like, actually, we open at 7:05. So I was like, what? So they made me walk after I was like just a big fat mess. I walk back in the cold parking lot back into my car, and I just pout. You know, I just look in the mirror. I'm so tired. I'm so out of it, and I just know I'm disgusting. And I was like, what am I doing? You know, just so disappointed. You're like, am I really 0-8 in fantasy? No, I was, and that's where I would close the show if it was all thematical. We would have tied it back in. But the thing actually did go good. There was a lot of friendly people, and I was able to chat it up and keep people awake. And that's always the most fun for me, is if I have people to annoy, I can stay up with ease. But the second that anyone else goes away, then I'm like, there's no one to bother, you know? Because that's kind of, like I said, I live to make fun of people. I also live to bother people. I'm just a true Bugs Bunny, I guess, that came to life, that loves hot Cheetos. And yeah, it was nice. It was great. I ended up driving back home, and I was at home. And my brother was like, how do you get to the motorcycle helmet on? And I showed him, and I fell asleep in my helmet. I was like, just like that. I just fell asleep in a helmet. I woke up freaking out because I like couldn't breathe because it gets, and there he's like, I could have suffocated. And he's like, you can't tell because I have a black visor. So after all that, I almost died. Dude, imagine a motorcycle helmet. The reason you die is like technically it's a motorcycle accident. You know, he died as a motorcyclist. What happened? You know, he ran a red light. Someone jaywalking. He got hit to him. Somebody, you know, a drunk or just up night late driver who was eating hot Cheetos just hit him. No, dude, he fell asleep. He couldn't breathe in his own helmet. He fell asleep in his helmet and died. You know how sad that you suffocate in a bike helmet? That's probably the roughest way to go when you should technically be the safest. I don't know why they're so hard to breathe, man. So I got to figure that out, or just not do that again, I guess. Sometimes you don't need a solution. You don't need a solution to everything. You can just go, don't do that again, you know? Where some things, they have all these signs are like, hey, be careful. If you're going to put your hand in this, just don't put your hand in anymore. Let's just stop doing that. How do we make hot air balloons safer? Just stop having hot air balloons. You know, how do we make sure that the bungee jumping, the stuff we can, you know, avoid more accidents? Just stop doing it. Sometimes you don't need a solution to something. It's just not right to do. So don't fall asleep in a helmet. Don't stay up for 40 hours. Don't jaywalk, but if you want to, I guess it's legal, I guess. And if you are going to vote for the president, I would like to see your fantasy lineup. And if you have won more games than me, help. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This has been Full Circus. I think that's everything I have to talk about today. Nay, I know that it is. I guess by the next time we record an episode, we'll have a new president. So congratulations to everybody, unless your team lost. Oh, it sucks, doesn't it, man? I guess the country will just be ran exactly the same anyway. So anyways, I shouldn't be so disrespectful, all right? Because some people really do care about it, and that's their whole livelihood, you know? So I don't want to be like, it doesn't matter. You care about it. You read all the tweets and all the Facebook posts, and you type up a storm. So I don't want to be like, hey, guys, what you care about, hey, by the way, everything you care about doesn't matter, because that's not true. But I guess I hope your team wins. I hope everybody, you know, if there's not really and everybody gets a trophy in politics, you know that? There's not a scrimmage. There's not a, hey, we both kind of won, because it's not the opposing guy becomes the vice president anymore. It really used to be. But now it's cutthroat and it's competitive. You know what? I'm talking myself into politics. I love a good competition. I'm going to find a team. I'm going to get assigned, dang it. We'll see. We'll see. My teams always lose, so I don't know. I'm a jinx. Can you bet on politics? That would be so... Okay, you know what? There's enough thoughts going on. Guys, go sleep. Get your Halloween deals. Enjoy your birthdays. Enjoy your time. Get some Ozempic, but don't. You know, but if you're going to need it, hopefully don't get diarrhea. I'll see ya. I love it. November 1st. Happy friggin' Christmas. I don't know what I'm saying, man. I've had 2 energy drinks. All right, peace.